So I'm here with Caleb Antonucci, and just so you guys know a little background about Caleb. So Caleb walked into my office through a friend of mine who was actually working at the company, and when he first came in, he was one guy who I have to tell you from the start, just literally had that glow about him, that shine, that person who came in with open ears and said, Paul, you know what, I really want to succeed in this business. What is it going to take? And at the time, we're going to kind of get into the story, but he was working at another company, and stay tuned to watch this actual video interview, because what you'll notice is there's a sweet little twist that a lot of people have when they're thinking about jumping into door-to-door sales and whether or not it'll work out for them. And you'll be blown away to hear how he switched it around from going to a previous company doing door-to-door sales, where now he actually does solar, and turning a average day into a more than amazing, fantastic day of over $10,000+ in one day. Welcome, Caleb, to the show. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day. It means a lot. You are in Arizona, correct?
Correct. Yes, sir.
Awesome.
Thanks for the introduction. And yeah, it's an honor to be with you right now. So thanks for having me on your show.
Likewise, brother. Honestly, thank you for taking the time out of your day. So the first question I want to kind of ask you is so the audience kind of knows who you are. Tell us a little bit about yourself and some of your background.
Yes, like you said, I'm in Arizona. I was working a corporate job when I met you, kind of addicted to a salary, and I was introduced to door-to-door sales. I played around with the idea for several months, and then when you presented the solar industry to me and kind of hard sold me on, you got to get in this thing, which I'm so grateful for now. I didn't realize what you knew back then, and now looking back on it, it's been completely life-changing for us. And we went from learning door-to-door sales to then learning how to run offices out on the East Coast. And then we're back in Arizona, and we're running a company out here. So,
yeah. Yes, so let's touch upon that. That's actually a very good topic. So I know, like, if you can take your mind back to when you were working at the trucking company, and I was telling you, door-to-door sales, if you actually put your mind to it, you actually have goals, and you really want to set forward, you can create a big career. Like, what were some of the things that were going through your mind back then? Because you had an income, a steady income over there. Oh, well, steady for what most people would say, right. But you had that, right? So what basically was running through your mind when I was, telling you, dude, you got to leave that to go into something where, you can obviously create so much more. But what was going through your mind? Was it scary? Talk to us a little bit about that.
You know what? It was one of those things where I thought, they can do it, but I'm not sure if I can, or maybe it's just a story, or maybe it's something they could do in the past, but it sounded a little bit too good to be true, being in our early 20s, making six figures. I thought that was for 30 or 40 or 50 or 60-year-olds, right? That's like you get rich.
Yeah. And
so I think my whole mindset was that's impossible. I just didn't believe it could be true for me. So I would say that was one big thought that went through my head. And then the other deal is the security, like you said, the stable income, which you turn out it's never stable. You can lose that in a day.
Yeah.
So that stable income was just enough to keep me over there and encouraged to not step out and do what, I and probably most people on your show are meant to do. That's why we're here talking.
Yeah, it's funny. So we both had the exact same feeling, but at different times. So for me, my whole story was I actually was working in a corporate environment, and I was sick of it. Like, to me, it was like, dude, coming in literally 9 to 5 every single day is just not, after a year, it was just not cutting it for me. And especially when I got a raise and it was like $1,500 in a year, I was like, this is not going to get me where I want, right? So for me, when my friend told me about the actual door-to-door of energy sales and then alarm sales, to me, I was like, okay, this is something that I can absolutely do. But when I got into it and I was not the greatest at it to start, that's when that exact same emotion that you have, which by the way, we all have at some point, is like, I don't know if this is for me. I don't know personally if I could be as good as that other person. That person's got that charm about him. That person doesn't care when he knocks on the door exactly how that customer portrays or looks, at that person. And all these thoughts went through my head. And, what I personally believe is that inside our minds, if we start to doubt ourselves about anything, and this is in life, if we start to doubt ourselves, we start scanning for possible reasons as to why what we're thinking is right and real.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah, we prove it to ourselves. Yeah.
Correct. So you're going to come up with all these reasons. And it's crazy when I actually coach a lot of these door-to-door salespeople, we all similarly in our minds come up with that thought. Well, he can, she can because of. And at the end of the day, it really isn't the case, right? You know as much as I do. If anybody wants to succeed at knocking on doors and making great money doing it, you have to commit. You got to put your mind into, hey, this is what I'm doing for literally the next 5 years. I got to figure it out.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. When you put your butt on the line and you force yourself to figure it out, it's like burning your boats, right? When you give yourself no option to turn back. Our story is this way, but we've seen our teams come up. They always succeed if they put their butt on the line and they go to work.
Yeah.
Every time. It's awesome.
It's true. Yeah, absolutely. So tell us a little bit about what you like personally about door-to-door sales. Like, what are some of the things that you personally like about door-to-door sales?
For me, it's a challenge. So every single day, and I loved my last job, and I still remember that one of the VPs who was trying to recruit me to stay on, he said, dude, by the time you're 30 years old, you'll be making $80,000 to $90,000, and that's when I knew it wasn't right for me, because that's not acceptable from what I'm going to do. Mm-hmm. And so that's when I left. And then getting into door-to-door sales, at first I actually didn't like it, and then I realized what it actually was, and it's a challenge every day to master ourselves. Yeah. That's how I view it. It's communications, but it's personal mastery over mindset, emotions, setting goals. Everything a successful entrepreneur does door to door is kind of like the boot camp. Right?
Yeah. And again, you mentioned that you didn't quite like it at first. I'll be honest. I tell everybody I didn't like it at first either. It's uncomfortable for the most part. Like 95% of the people tell me that. I really do have like 5% who tell me, Paul, I don't care. I can go knock on doors. I'm not uncomfortable doing it. And that's great. I always say I wish to God I had that to start, because I would have excelled a lot quicker than I did. But for us, for those people who are just like that, you have to get comfortably uncomfortable. And once you go out there and you're actually comfortably uncomfortable, you get comfort by knowing that in each door I talk to, my experience level is going to go up. I'm going to get better. I'm going to get stronger. That's when you start seeing better results, and you don't doubt yourself as much.
Absolutely.
Yeah. No.
Control those voices in your head.
Yeah.
It's funny. I'm just looking, and I don't think money is the only thing that matters in the industry, but it's always encouraging. And when you can look back where you're working a salary job and you can make in 1 month what it used to take you 12 months to earn.
Yeah.
How inspiring is that to figure out your mindset, master yourself, and be an entrepreneur?
Yeah, you're right. My friend who brought me into the industry, he told me literally, he goes, Paul, within like 6 months of work, I'm making more than you're making in a year. And I'm like, dude, there's no way. Show me your actual paychecks. And he showed me. And, at that time I was a lot younger. It was 12 years ago. And for me, I was like, it was to start mainly about the money. Almost 95% of my decision to start was the money, because I was young. I always wanted to be wealthy. My parents were wealthy, and I needed to create wealth. So that was on my mind ever since a young age, because I personally enjoy the finer things in life. I wanted to go out there and literally have a really nice car, a really nice house, and at a young age. So to me, that aligned with my purpose in life. So when he actually showed me that, I said, wait a second. So because I was working in an accounts payable department in local Edmonton, Alberta, but what basically it was if I'm going to go in here, and this is how my thought process went, if I'm going to go in 9 to 5, every single day, and I count those hours for a full year. So he's telling me he only has to go into work for 6 months, and I literally have to get in my car 6 extra months every single day just to make the exact same paycheck he does. Why in God's earth would I stay and stick around with this current job when I can go to this one, but still put in the full 12 months and double my income? So that's how, right? So that's how my thought process went. Now, and this, just so you know, and this may help you out as well, because when I recruit, when I'm going out and recruiting, I'm looking for people who can see eye to eye for that. So for anybody who's always asked me, they're like, Paul, how do you recruit salespeople? Or because I find it so difficult to find the right people. I go, it's more than likely because you're trying to attract everybody. So if I'm walking up to a mall and I'm trying to recruit salespeople at a mall, for example, and I'll say, hey, how's it going? Your name is Caleb? Cool, I see that. Cool, Caleb. That's awesome. And we'll be talking. Let's just say you're trying to sell me a cell phone. I'll be talking to you, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh, cool. How long have you been working here for? Oh, that's awesome. You like your job? I kind of nods. It's terrible, or they start talking a little bit down about it. It's okay. It's just a paycheck. And I'm like, oh, I love my job. I love what I do. Like, it's awesome. I used to think like that, and I have this and that, and this is what we do as a blah, blah, blah. And I start talking. And if I'm like super hype about what my job is, and I'm standing across somebody who's literally there, who's telling me, I don't quite like my job. It's blah, blah, blah. And I'm here saying, oh, look at me. I'm freaking loving my job. This is what we do. We do this, and I stick behind our product and service. And this person doesn't say, you got to be kidding me. Like what is it you guys do? Like, are you guys hiring? Because I promise you, if you use that route, most people where they fail at recruiting is they'll actually go out there and they'll just say, hey, how's it going? You want to come work for me? Never have I ever done that as a recruiting method. I would go out there. I just talk to people and say, oh, cool. How do you like your job? And once my in is like, it's okay. It pays the bills. I'm like, oh, that's cool. Mine too, but except it pays a lot more. It was crazy. I had that same mentality. And then they're like, dude, the ones that say, you got to be kidding me. What is it you do? That's who you're like, oh, we do this, this, and this. Are you guys hiring? I don't wag my tail like a dog, like getting all excited. I'm like, yeah, well, I mean, this is what we do. And I swear the most successful people I brought into the business all came in from personal recruits just like that. And they stick a lot longer. So not to go off on a tangent, but to help everybody out with recruiting. Yeah, that works. It works very well. So you, Caleb, jumping back into you, you're very successful in the solar business now. And because I have a big audience that asks a lot about, hey, what do you think about solar and home automation and these? Let's touch up on, if you don't mind, you got a quick second to touch up on solar. Like, what is it that you personally like? Because ultimately, if you're selling something you don't like, if you're doing it just because of the money, I personally believe you're not going to become successful. So just the mere fact that I know you're successful with solar, obviously, and I've heard you and talk about it, how passionate you are about it. Tell us a little bit about solar and door to door and how basically it works going door to door and what you like personally about solar sales.
Yeah, I like that question. To me, solar is the future. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of our products are. And solar is, we have a serious pollution issue. We've got serious issues with the way energy is currently being made. A lot of homeowners don't like where they live because they're part of a monopoly utility company. They don't have choice. Their rates are continuously jacked up. And I think most people nowadays really want to do what's right for the environment, for their kids. We have hundreds of thousands of people dying a year of lung cancer who never even smoke or even introduced to secondhand smoke. It's just the air we breathe is dirty, and the cars we drive or the way we make energy is what's really contributing to that significantly. To go out every day and be part of really a mission that is changing the way the world makes energy is an honor. And then to invite homeowners to participate in that, a product that doesn't cost them anything and actually saves them money 99% of the time.
Wow.
It's inspiring to do it, and it's inspiring to work with other guys who are part of a mission to make the world a better place and change the way we make energy and change this 100-year-old infrastructure we've been using to the updated solar technology.
Yeah. And I'm noticing all over it really is getting huge, even here in Canada now. I mean, they're always, they follow the United States right after the United States is proven to have something that works. Most definitely do we follow. And there's a big convention, which I'm going to be going to here locally with one of my corporate clients to where, solar is 100% I stick behind personally as well. People ask me when selling door to door, what are some of the things you stick behind? I always say home automation, solar in and pest control. Those are
Yeah.
three things that I would absolutely 100% always have on my house. So that's awesome. So with solar, you mentioned that customers don't have to pay anything. Can you talk a little bit about that program, like what you guys pretty much offer to the client? You said they save money 99% of the time. That's a huge percentage of the time.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you want to tell us about,
I'm sorry.
no, sorry, if you want to just tell us a little bit about that program.
Yeah, so every market I've worked in, there's been significant savings. I know there's some markets where it's typically a break even, but our product works. We install and set them up for free, and then what they do is buy energy from us. And so the energy we produce, because we get it from the sun, costs a lot less, and so they're able to save money that way. So that's how our program works. It's pretty simple. We install for free. They buy energy. It costs less, so their power bill goes down.
Sure. So how do they buy energy from you from the sun? So you put the solar panels on top. I take it they're leasing the space on top of you're putting your panels up there, and because they haven't purchased the panels on the roof, they're still technically your company's, but because you're now generating energy for them, you could sell it to them for less than the electricity company.
Yeah, that's exactly how it works.
Love it.
Just like that. We put it up there, just like their local utility company installed all of that infrastructure, their power meter, the power lines, the power plants for free.
Yeah.
Then just sells them the energy. We're doing the exact same thing. We just use solar instead of coal.
Hashtag off the grid, baby.
Yeah, exactly.
That's good. I love it. And it's cleaner energy. Yeah, no question. So with solar, I've heard as well that the efficiency has definitely gone up of the panels. And do you get asked this question, like how efficient are the panels? And do they hold its efficiency over time? Like, do you guys even monitor the efficiency of the panels and over time?
Yeah, we get that question all the time. It's a relevant question, especially with the technology improvements going on.
Yeah.
So yeah, not only has technology improved, we allow them to monitor it. They can, just like anything else, they can use, the app on their phone, or they can do it through a website.
Wow.
They can view it on an hourly basis, a daily basis, a monthly basis, a yearly basis, so they can ensure their system's working as it belongs.
Dude, that's super exciting, man. Congrats. Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, and that's the best thing is, like, literally when you're talking about that, it's exciting. Like, when you're talking to a potential customer, you need to be excited about what you're selling, because if I'm talking to you and I'm like, you got to hear this, like, no, we're not interested. I totally understand why you're not interested, because you don't know. I always say, when people are telling you not interested, they have no clue what it is they get and how much they pay for what it is that you're offering. So I totally understand. I'm actually busy as we speak, but let me explain to you this. Right now, are you in love with your utilities company? Well, of course not. Who's in love with them, right? I just want to let you know that there is another option, so that when you are ready and available, like, this is just what off the top of my head, what I would say, of course, to get that foot in the door. It's like, let me just show you this really quick. It's a simple, I'm not saying easy, it's a simple sale, because it's something that can truly benefit the customer. It's not like you're going and selling them like, a toy where it's like, dude, I have no purpose for that. And, right. That's where it's awesome. And that's cool. So, I mean, we have definitely a lot of solar people who are watching this right now. So, can you give some advice on what has basically worked for you in the past on helping to increase your sales as a solar sales agent that possibly they can utilize or use at the doors, or, in their daily routine to actually help increase their sales?
Sure. I mean, everyone on your show is going to know, just from listening to you, Paul, that you got to start by deepening your belief in your product, so you have that emotion to transfer in the initial sale. And then I've found for myself and my teams that if you can build really strong relationships with your clients, your business is going to run off referrals mostly. And so in the beginning, if you're just getting into the solar industry, or you're in it and not successful yet, I think what you're going to have to do is, bust your butt and go knock a lot of doors, just so you can get a few clients, and then take really good care of those clients. We'll do all sorts of special things, whether it's as simple as taking them a dessert, or we have one lady we just had a picture frame made for her with a quote that she found 30 years ago about, because she adopted kids. Just anything. It doesn't cost that much money. It's just going the extra mile to really strengthen that relationship. It's a 20-year relationship we're going to have with these clients. And we have people, that we signed up a couple of years ago still sending us their friends and family. So I would say strengthen those relationships and stay in contact and work off referrals.
And that's, you nailed door-to-door sales in general, like on the head. It's like that. See, door-to-door sales is all about the personal relationship that you have with your potential customers and customers. And people always tell me, Paul, get to the point. Let me know and they don't say, let me know the magical pitch, but what do you say at the doors? And I always tell them 90% of the sale is not what you say. It's how you present yourself and how you build that relationship with that customer.
Yes.
And that's what's very important. And you nailed it. Like I personally believe that as well. And one thing just for everybody to really note, which I want to ask you is, would you say or believe, and personally really truly believe, that you're a better salesperson at the doors today than when you first started selling solar, day one, day two, week one? Are you better right now than you were?
Oh, I sure hope so.
Okay. Yeah. And that's something to note, because a lot of people who are getting started, and I know you personally have a pretty solid team and of reps that get started, it's very important for them to see the bigger, longer picture idea that they get better as they go.
It's so key.
Yeah.
I couldn't agree with you more, Paul. If you can capture the vision that in the beginning, your goal is to fail. It's not like in school, you're not trying to get an A. Go out and get as many F's as you can, because they will convert into the B's and C's and B's, and then you'll get A's. But I think the thing that stops so many people from being successful in the industry is they think they need an A+ on their first door.
Yeah.
And they quit.
Yeah, you're dead on. And transitioning into that, speaking of which, so when you first started off, you obviously were generating accounts and generating sales, and now you've bettered yourself. I know you're very humbled by this, which is awesome, but please, as an inspiration, I want you to touch on it a little bit, as much of it as you can. You recently had a phenomenal day, which, by the way, I want everybody to know, yes, even Caleb surpassed my maximum in a day. As a matter of fact, his amount that he made in a day surpassed what I made in a week, if not right beside it. Personally, I made close to $14,000 in 1 week as my max. You did that pretty much in 1 day selling solar. Yeah. Please, if you can discuss a little bit, talk about it. What happened? What aligned? What happened, man? That's freaking exciting. That's huge. And it's not like you're going out there doing it with scamming, tricking, lying, cheating, and stealing from people. Your customers are loving what you're doing and you're getting paid very well. Talk to us a little bit about that and what happened.
It was a good day. You know what? It's funny because, even you can probably relate. I'm sure you can, whether it's a $14,000 week or $1,000 week.
Sure. That
there's certain fundamentals that never change, and it's what you've been talking about. You got to have the core belief, and you've got to establish it. My coach has always said, customers don't remember what you said; they remember how you made them feel.
Very true.
And I think going into a consultation and not really worrying about the sale, but focusing on just loving and taking care of that customer and serving the customer seemingly always results in a sale. And so that was our focus that day, and it's our focus nearly every day that's a good day, just to serve the customer. And the results are crazy, right? At 10,000, 20,000, 50,000, whatever it is in a month. But having the connection and knowing that you did something that was good for them, and you didn't scam someone, you don't have to go to sleep that night thinking like, oh shoot, hope they don't find out about. I think that's the most valuable part. And it is crazy, just as it inspires me sometimes to look back, because when you initially made that hard sale, I thought $10,000 over a year was this huge chunk of money.
Yeah.
I was like, goodness, maybe I should stay for that. And you're like, dude, you got till 12 o'clock today to give me an answer. And had you not said that, I would still be working a corporate job. I remember at 11:59, I had a text written out to you, and then I was like, oh shoot, I might be screwing my life up.
I remember that.
Yeah, you made the right choice. And now, to look back, and it hasn't been that long, just several months or a couple years, I guess. And to get to that point, it's just a lot of work. It's a lot of doors. It might be a few tears in there, but it just goes to show it's worth it. And this is just the beginning of the journey for us. It's just the beginning of the journey for you. But just to keep growing and building is inspires us, and it makes us happy.
Amen, brother. I swear on everything, you're an honor and a blessing to have in my life and my family's, to have that personal connection with you. You're one of those gentlemen in the industry, which they're far-fetched and few beyond, but there are still a lot, that I would personally trust in the industry, to actually, literally, bring you on the show and give advice, because I know personally, from who you are and what you represent, that I would stick behind your word. So transitioning into that, I want to actually ask you, because you currently own your own dealership now, right? For Sun Solar.
Right.
Where are you located currently?
So we're a team under Sun Solar, which is a dealer for SunRun. Our teams are in Arizona. We work in California, New York, and New Jersey.
Okay.
So states right now.
Okay, and currently, I mean, my audience is definitely gonna want to, those who are looking to get into solar, want to reach out to you and possibly ask you questions, or perhaps even join your team. If anybody did want to, are you open to that? If they reach out to you, and if so, how can they get in contact with you?
Okay, yeah, for sure. So we are still growing some of our markets, so we would welcome anyone to reach out. I would just say Facebook. Just private message me on Facebook. I'll have myself or my assistant reach back out to them. We'll put them through an interviewing process, and if we seem like a good fit for them and they seem like a good fit for us, we'll be happy to join arms and go onward with our mission together.
Beautiful. Then what I'll do is this, I will, because this is going to go live on my YouTube channel. I'll post a video, and in the description on YouTube, I'll put your name to get onto Facebook so that they can add you. What I'll also do is on the Door to Door Mastery Facebook fan page in Facebook, I'll also tag you with your name, so anybody who's watching that. And then also in the blog post on doortodoormastery.com, I'll also put your name there so they can reach out to you via Facebook to private message you. And if you wanted me to put your email address there where they can contact you via email, you could do that as well. It's just the one issue these days with spam bots. If you put your email in there, trust me, you're going to get all these these different types of spam with your email. So no worries, I'll do that. Caleb, I know you got to go and you're a busy man. I heard you have a couple of sales to go and close today. The best of luck with you on that. I want to thank you once more so much for coming here on the Door to Door Mastery Show. And, always reach out to me if you have any questions or anything you need. I'm always here to help you out. And likewise, brother, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day. It means a lot.
Yeah, it was an honor. And one of the reasons I was so excited to come on your show is because I've had a lot of mentors in coaching, but the moment of decision came down to you seeing more for my life than I saw for myself.
Yeah.
And me trusting you and you making that close, right, it's changed my life. It's changed my family's life. I got 3 kids now. It's changing their lives. So from our family, my heart to yours, thank you for being that kind of guy who went forward, made an example, and then showed us the way, and wish you all the best.
God bless you, brother. Likewise, man. Have an awesome killer day, and I'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
Take care, my man.
If you want
Bye-bye.
to watch more of my videos where I teach you a lot about everything pretty much from A to Z in my free video series, in the link, you can actually click on it here on YouTube in the description. Click the link and that will take you to my free 3 video series if you haven't already watched it. Smash that link. Don't forget to smash the subscribe button because I promise I got a lot more cool content coming out, and no better way to find out about this free content for door knockers than to subscribe on my YouTube channel, and you'll get every time I actually create these videos, it's sent directly to your inbox.